I have always believed that small pots have a kind of quiet magic because they force you to get creative and make every inch count. When you pick the right flowering plants, they can turn even the tiniest corner of your home into a bright little spotlight that grabs your attention every time you walk by. Today we are talking about compact bloomers that thrive without needing a yard or a giant planter, and some of them put out more color than plants 3 times their size. These are the low-maintenance charmers that stay happy on windowsills, balconies, desks and kitchen shelves without crowding your space. You will see plants that bloom for months, burn bright under sunlight, or even handle partial shade without slowing down. I will walk you through each one step by step so you know exactly what makes them special and how they fit into small living spaces. By the end you will have a full list of compact flowering plants that bring style, fragrance and color without demanding any extra room. So let us jump in and explore the best blooms made perfectly for small pots. Portulaca is one of those small pot superheroes that proves you do not need a lot of space to get a burst of color every single day, because this plant blooms like it is trying to outshine everything around it. It handles tight containers easily thanks to its shallow roots, and it thrives in full sun where many small plants struggle, producing bright flowers that can reach up to 10 different shades. What makes it perfect for tiny spaces is how little water it needs, since its fleshy leaves store moisture, and studies show drought-tolerant plants like this reduce watering needs by nearly half. It keeps blooming through heat that pushes other flowers to quit, and its fast growth means you get continuous color even in small pots on balconies, windowsills and patios without any special care. Marigold is the kind of small pot champion that delivers bold color without taking over your space, and its compact varieties stay neat while producing dozens of blooms at a time. It thrives in tight containers because its roots stay manageable, and it loves direct sunlight, which helps it produce those rich gold and orange flowers that brighten up any corner instantly. Studies show marigolds can bloom for more than 4 months straight when kept in well-draining soil, making them one of the longest performing annuals for small pots. They also release natural compounds that help repel certain pests, so planting them in tiny containers on balconies or windowsills adds both color and a bit of natural protection to your space with almost no effort. Allium is a surprisingly perfect choice for small pots because its upright growth and compact bulbs let it fit into tight spaces while still putting out those globe-shaped blooms that look like little fireworks. It does well in containers because the bulbs only need a shallow depth, and they thrive in full sun where they can store energy and push out long-lasting purple or white blooms. Research shows many Allium varieties bloom for up to 3 weeks, and their strong stems stay steady even in small pots, so they never flop or take over your space. Another bonus is that Allium naturally repels pests thanks to its mild onion-like scent, which keeps your tiny garden cleaner and lets you enjoy bright architectural flowers without any heavy maintenance. Pansy is one of the easiest flowering plants to grow in small pots because it stays compact while giving you big, cheerful blooms that look painted by hand. It thrives in containers since its shallow roots fit comfortably in tight spaces, and it performs best in cool, bright conditions where it can produce flowers in dozens of color patterns. Many pansy varieties can bloom for up to 6 months when kept in moist, well-draining soil, which makes them one of the longest-lasting options for tiny balconies, windowsills and desk planters. Another fun detail is that pansy petals are actually edible and used in salads and desserts, so this little plant not only brightens your small pots but adds a touch of creativity to your kitchen too. Dahlia might look like a plant that needs a lot of space, but the dwarf varieties are actually perfect for small pots because they stay compact while producing those full-layered blooms that look like tiny fireworks. They grow well in containers since their tubers adapt easily to tight soil spaces, and they love 6 to 8 hours of sunlight, which helps them push out vibrant reds, yellows and pinks even in a small setup. Research shows that dwarf dahlias can bloom continuously from midsummer to fall when kept in rich, well-draining soil, making them one of the longest-performing flowering plants for limited spaces. What makes them extra special is how each bloom can last more than a week, and the unique petal patterns give your small pots the look of a mini garden show without needing any complicated care. Shasta daisy is a great fit for small pots because the compact varieties stay tidy and upright while giving you those classic white petals with bright yellow centers that feel like a burst of sunshine in tight spaces. It handles container living well thanks to its fibrous roots that adapt easily, and it thrives in full sun where studies show it can produce blooms for nearly 10 weeks straight when grown in well-draining soil. Even in a small pot, it keeps pushing out fresh flowers as long as you deadhead the old ones, making it a reliable long-term bloomer for tiny balconies and patios. Another fun detail is that Shasta daisies attract butterflies, so even a small container can turn into a little pollinator stop that brings movement and life to your space. Madagascar periwinkle is one of the toughest and most rewarding flowering plants you can grow in small pots because it stays compact while delivering non-stop blooms in shades of pink, white and red. It thrives in containers thanks to its strong drought-tolerant roots, and it performs best in bright sun where studies show it can flower continuously for 8 to 10 months when given light, well-draining soil. This plant is known for handling heat better than many other annuals, making it perfect for small balconies and sunny windows where space is tight but you still want color. Another cool detail is that Madagascar periwinkle has been studied for its natural alkaloids used in medicine, giving this tiny pot-friendly plant a surprising scientific background along with its beautiful blooms. Celosia is perfect for small pots because its upright plumes grow vertically instead of spreading out, giving you big color without taking up any extra room. It handles containers easily thanks to its compact root system, and it thrives in full sun where research shows it can bloom for up to 12 weeks when grown in light, well-draining soil. Even in tiny pots it produces those bright flame-shaped flowers in reds, yellows and oranges that look almost unreal and stay vibrant even in heat. One of the coolest things about Celosia is that its blooms are long-lasting, both fresh and dried, so your little pot can keep showing off even after the season ends. EUPHORBIA is a surprisingly good match for small pots because its tidy growth habit stays upright and compact while still putting out bright bracts that look like delicate flowers. It adapts well to container life since its roots stay controlled, and it thrives in full sun or light shade where studies show many EUPHORBIA varieties can bloom for 6 to 8 months with very little water. This plant is naturally drought tolerant, which makes it perfect for people who want color but often forget to water, and it handles heat better than most small pot plants. One interesting detail is that EUPHORBIA blooms attract helpful pollinators like bees even in tiny spaces, so your little container can become a miniature ecosystem without needing much care. LANTANA is one of the most impressive flowering plants for small pots because it stays compact while delivering clusters of tiny blooms that shift colors as they mature, giving your space a constant mix of yellows, pinks, oranges and reds. It thrives in containers thanks to its shallow but dense root system, and it loves full sun where studies show it can bloom for nearly 9 months straight when grown in well-draining soil. Even in a tight pot it handles heat, drought and humidity with no problem, making it perfect for balconies, patios and sunny windows. Another standout detail is that LANTANA attracts butterflies like magnets, so even a small container can turn into a lively, colorful spot with moving wings and non-stop flowers. DELPHINIUM might look tall and dramatic, but the dwarf varieties are actually great for small pots because they grow upright without spreading and give you those stunning spiky blooms in blues, purples and whites. They adapt well to containers since their roots stay contained in tight spaces, and they thrive in bright light where studies show they can bloom for 3 to 4 weeks when kept in cool, well-draining soil. Even in small pots they hold their shape beautifully and add a vertical accent that makes tiny spaces feel fuller and more elegant. Another interesting detail is that delphinium flowers are a favorite of hummingbirds, so your small container can attract these quick little visitors and bring a surprising bit of life to your balcony or windowsill. Globe amaranth is one of the best flowering plants for small pots because its neat compact shape fits perfectly in tight spaces while still giving you those round button-like blooms in bright shades of pink, purple, red and white. It thrives in containers thanks to its shallow root system, and it loves full sun where studies show it can bloom for nearly 5 months straight when grown in light, well-draining soil. Even in heat and dry weather this plant keeps pushing out fresh blooms, which makes it ideal for busy people who sometimes forget to water. Another fun detail is that globe amaranth flowers hold their color even after drying, so your small pot not only stays vibrant outdoors but can also give you long-lasting dried blooms for decorations all year. So that wraps up our list of flowering plants that thrive beautifully in small pots and still bring big color and personality to your home. Whether you are working with a balcony, a tiny windowsill or just a corner on your desk, these compact bloomers prove you do not need a lot of space to grow something amazing. Each plant on this list has its own charm, from long-lasting flowers to heat tolerance to pollinator-friendly blooms, and they all fit perfectly into a simple container. If you enjoyed this guide and want more plant tips, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment telling me which plant you want to try next. Your support helps this channel grow just like these little pots of color.